There's a reason why you're not going to make any progress watching this. There's a reason why you're going to stay in the same position. I hope you don't, but there is going to be a huge reason. And it's purely ego. It's ego because you think you're too good for what it will take to improve your discipline. I guarantee you do. You're thinking right now, oh no, it's been made apparent in your mind right now. I guarantee when I tell you the real way to increase your discipline, you're going to think it's beneath you. And when you think that, you won't make any progress. You need to have an absolute, you remember the gaming term, noob? You need to have a noob's mindset to discipline. Because most guys don't do this. The real way to be disciplined is not like David Goggins. It's not doing this big, ridiculous run. He's decades into this, so that's different. But it's not like doing this big, ridiculous run or this 8-hour workout, the super long workout with loads of sets. It's not like doing all these weird things. It's none of that. The real way to be disciplined is finding the easiest good habit that you consistently aren't doing and start doing that. It's so uncool. It's so boring. But discipline is not that massive workout. It's cleaning up the mess on the floor. It's like the one piece of clothing that you've had on the floor for the last fucking 48 hours. It's picking that up and putting it somewhere. Discipline is taking those water bottles down, not even drinking the plastic water bottles anyway, but let's say, you've got water bottles in your room, this thing's out of place here. Discipline is literally just fixing that stuff up. That there's that cringe piece of advice make your bed. Discipline's making your bed, and the first route to success or to changing the world is to make your bed. You know why every single military in every single country places an emphasis on things like making your bed? Why? Really just ask yourself this question. Why? Because that's the real discipline. The real discipline is not charging into war and being super heroic. It's making your bed when you didn't want to. It's these 1,000 acts of mini discipline that other people will ignore, saying that, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not that it doesn't matter. It's that your ego is bigger than this task at hand. Your ego is stopping you to improve. If you think that something doesn't matter, if you think that, it's not going to make a difference, so I'll just cut the corner there, that's because of ego. Not that it's the objective truth of the world that whether or not making your bed makes you more disciplined. That is your big fat ego that's stopping you from making progress. You need to start challenging your own brain. People talk about critical thinking. They talk about not just taking one piece of advice at once. Your own brain convinced you to watch porn over 1,000 times in your life. So your own brain probably shouldn't be automatically trusted, right? Think about this. When was the last time your own mind convinced you to watch porn? With 100% objective universal fact that porn is a bad thing. Your own brain convinced you to do it. You're not as smart as you think you are, right? So when your brain is telling you, oh yeah, this video is kind of stupid. He's telling me to make my bed. He's telling me to pick up the clothes from the floor. That's not going to do anything. I'll go watch another David Goggins or Andrew Tate motivational workout. Maybe don't listen to your brain and maybe start with the thing that will actually work. Look in your rubbish bin, probably full right now. Empty water bottles around, shit all over the floor. Bed sheets not made. This is the daily act of discipline. So this is exactly what you do to destroy your ego and to begin leveling up your discipline. Pick 1 or 2 of these things that you have proven to yourself that you usually don't do. This is the important part. The small task that I'm telling you to do consistently has to be one that you have proven to yourself you usually don't do because you don't like to do it. So discipline is not, oh yeah, I'm going to wake up and do 50 push-ups, because you'd be motivated for that. So it's not discipline. Discipline is looking around your room right now and thinking to yourself, you know what? I've always got clothes on the floor, so clearly I'm not disciplined enough to clean that up. That's going to be my new discipline activity. Specifically, when you start to do that activity, you need to know that every single time you do it, you're not going to want to do it. It's going to feel annoying. There's going to be some kind of BS cope in your mind, whether it says, oh, well, I'll do it later. Or I don't need to do this anyway. Discipline's stupid anyway. Or this isn't even discipline. There's going to be some kind of cope, right? Because that's the whole point. You're not motivated to do it. So you need to almost be vigilant for your brain to start coping and to start creating these excuses. It's these small, insignificant things that are the training ground for your discipline. In a video game, you start off with the small monsters. A lot of us in real life, we start off and it's like we want to kill the dragon right now, but we can't, Because to get up to the dragon in a video game, what do you have to do? You have to kill like 10,000 cows, right? You have to go kill the cows, then you level up to the little goblins, then you level up to the zombies, then the security guards, then you level up to like the little demon, then the big demon, then you level up to like the hellhound. You have to start off by killing the level 2 cows. This right here, when you look around you, this is like the training ground, like the place that we get XP in the skill of discipline. You can never think that you're above these things. You can never think that. You can never think that you'll reserve your discipline for the big dragon when you're like level 7 right now and you need to still keep working on these small things. It's very important that you destroy your ego and you really start to say to yourself, you know what? I'm actually not that great. I'm not that advanced right now. I'm not past the point where something like cleaning up my room wouldn't help me. I'm not past the point where something like doing a tiny bit of exercise wouldn't help me, because a lot of people in this stage, they get stuck because of ego. Here is your actionable step for this part of the guide. Pick one daily habit that you can do, one task that you usually don't do that would require discipline. So it might be, for example, wiping your computer desk every day. And every day, you probably wouldn't need that, right? After you like wipe it down today, you probably wouldn't really need it tomorrow, but just do it anyway, just to get into the habit of it. Or it could be, for example, making your bed every day. That's a nice one. Make your bed kind of nicely. Or it could be, for example, making sure that you don't have rubbish in your room, taking down the rubbish bin every single day. It's very important that you just start with something small. Start with just one habit, and then you can make it into like a habit tracker like I've just got here. Like, just write the days of the month and then just have that as the habit, and then you just tick it off when you're done. Now, we want to level this up so that you actually start to accomplish bigger goals, because, just cleaning up your room is kind of nice, but we really want to like build something, right? So let's talk about some big goals and how you'd actually level up your discipline. For example, let's say building an aesthetic body, like a 10 out of 10 physique from the gym. The way to use discipline for this is to figure out the exact constraints, the micro task, the current area of weakness, a specific task that you're lacking in. So for example, with building a nice physique in the gym, a lot of guys think it's working out and dieting, and then they're trying to like discipline themselves in those two areas, working out and dieting, working out and dieting. Sure, when you first begin, discipline is like going to the gym, because you might not want to go to the gym, but after a while, you start liking the gym, you start being motivated for it. So it's like you're not using discipline to go to the gym anymore. This is like a very interesting point. A lot of guys who go to the gym think that they're disciplined, but they're not, because they're motivated for it. You take that same guy and put him in front of a computer and tell him to do 90 minutes of deep work, and he can't. So it's not about that, you're disciplined if you go to the gym. If you're motivated for the gym, then it's not discipline. It's not even like, it's still difficult, but it doesn't require discipline because you felt like going. So let's say right now you've been going to the gym consistently, you've been making some progress, right? You're probably kind of motivated for it right now, which means that your discipline is kind of saved for something else. Most guys will just stop here and wonder why they're making less gains as time goes on. You make like the noob gains and then you just kind of plateau after that. Most guys wonder why. It's because you're not utilizing discipline in the next level, the next step. So you're consistently going to hit the workout, but there's somewhere in the realm of fitness that currently requires your discipline, which you're not very conscious of, and it's a very specific task. That task could be something as specific as making sure your kitchen scale has always got chargeable batteries inside of it, batteries that are charged so it turns on, because sometimes you might find that when the battery dies, you don't end up tracking your stuff for like weeks at a time. Or it could be, for example, making sure that you fill up your water bottles at nighttime and keep them next to your bed so that the exact moment that you wake up, you can start to drink a lot of water and hydrate before your workout in the day. It's like these new specific habits require your discipline right now compared to the big thing that used to, like going to the gym. So you do see this is the way to level up. At first, we use discipline for some of the core activities, like, just eating protein or going to the gym. But soon those activities kind of feel like a little bit automated, like they become habits and they don't really require much discipline anymore. Most people will just stop here. What you need to do is figure out, okay, what's the next thing that I could discipline myself on that will still get me some results? And this is how, like, the concept of, there's less to gain the more progress you've made. At first, to make progress, you just go to the gym. But then after that, you've got to start tracking your macros. After that, you've got to start tracking your micros. After that, you've got to like perfect your sleep. There's less and less and less things for you to improve on, which is the nature of becoming an expert or a master in your craft. For example, another micro task could be going straight to the yoga mats after you finish your workout, grabbing one of the mats, setting it down, and just stretching for like 2 minutes. Over the grand scheme of things, that would help you in your goal of building this 10 out of 10 physique, because you'll be way more like flexible and you'll be able to get better range of motion in the lifts, right? So it's like, that's a very specific micro task. That is the thing that would need discipline. The exact moment when you finish a workout, but you stay, even though you don't want to, even though you don't feel like it, you stay to stretch for a couple of minutes. That's where you need discipline right now. It's these small micro tasks, these little pockets of potential that you're leaving on the table because you're only focusing on the basics. These things seem insignificant right now, don't they? But it is these micro tasks that will make the difference between you being a winner or a loser 5 years from now. Use your discipline for a new micro task for every goal that you have. And in some time, that micro task will become a habit too. So for example, right now, it would require discipline for you to stretch after you work out. So like when you finish a workout, you don't feel motivated to stretch. You're making all these excuses, but then you say to yourself, no, I know that discipline means that I'm going to have all these excuses. I'm just going to like turn my brain off and just go and stretch for a few minutes. After maybe a couple of weeks, this will become a habit and you might even start to enjoy it. So you might finish the workout and just be used to going to stretch. At that point, you're no longer using discipline. So it's time to find the next micro task after that to continuously keep making progress in this goal. Here is your actionable step for this part of the guide. Figure out a specific micro task that needs discipline that would get you some kind of progress in a goal of yours and add it up to your habit tracker. And if I was you, get the habit tracker and stick it up on the wall. This isn't just for the video, by the way. This has literally been on my wall for about a week now. And if you know me for a while from my videos, should I just show you quickly? I always have stuff over my wall. So obviously I've got like the YouTube plaques there, but a lot of the papers you can see, like those ones, they've got like habit trackers, they've got goals and everything like that. I really think that's an extra step that you can take. Just have a habit tracker. If you make one right now, stick it up, add in the daily little discipline that we had from the last time, maybe clean up your room, and then also add some goal specific ones. So let's say you've got 3 goals. For fitness, the specific task could be, okay, stretch for 1 minute at the end of the workout. For your work, it could be to read 3 pages of a book every single day. Or it could be, for example, to meditate or something. And then let's say for relationships, it could be to just hug your mum first thing in the morning as soon as you see her. Easy things, right? They're not actually that difficult. They're easy things, but there might be things that you don't consistently do right now because you don't really feel like it.
You liked this video, so go and watch the full guide because it took me weeks to make and it will genuinely change your life. It's popped up as a card. Go click on that right now. It's also a link in the description. Go click on that right now.